Hey everybody, it's Flicky. Hey, I just wanted to talk about something that happened to me today. And I think I was just really in a place to receive a message. So I've been working around doing my normal routine this weekend, and was ready to take a break, so I threw on Netflix, and this Tony Robbins documentary came up on the playlist, and I was like, well, I've been doing personal development. I've never really listened to Tony Robbins at all, and I was like, well, what the hell? So I turned this on, and it was life changing for me. It wasn't anything in particular that he said, it was just his whole passion for life. It was his whole passion for everybody that was in that room. It was his whole passion for just needing to help other people and to grow out of the situation from where he came. And I never knew his background, but I guess his mother was abusive toward him, and he was the one that kind of held the family together, and he always had to be the strong one, and he always, had to take care of everything. He grew up in a very negative environment, and what he grew out of that was he grew to be the person that was never going to allow that to happen to his family. And he did everything he could and to make sure that he never treated his family the way he was treated, that he did better for himself, and he's doing better for others. And I have to tell you, he talks to a lot of people in this documentary, and they're all in different places, and they all have this. He'll ask them, well, what do you want? Well, I want to lose weight. Well, why do you want to lose weight? What do you think it'll do for you if you lose weight? And, when he turns it around and really gets involved with what's the core situation is, it has something to do with some childhood memory or some reason or something that wasn't fulfilled when they were younger. And this is how their pain had manifested. And pain manifests. And in my case, I was always a very negative and nasty person. I was always led by negativity, and I was drawn to it. I was drawn to people who would let me sit there and live in that life. And my childhood was different only in the fact that my mom and dad were 31 years apart. My mom always seemed kind of depressed to me about how her life had turned out, and she had always turned to food, and potato chips and soda were the staples in the evenings after second helpings on a big meal at supper time. So it was just one of those things that I remember, like going to the drugstore and picking up a bag of chips and a soda and eating the whole thing like every night. And that was kind of like what I did, and that's what I saw, and that's how I reacted to everything. And when I wasn't getting the emotional input in my life that I felt like I wanted, that's where I turned. I turned to food, and food numbed me, and food temporarily made me feel better, and food was my best friend. Now, I've always had friends here and there, except when I was with my first husband. I really never had any friends during that period of time. And, that's all part of the cycle of abuse. And he was an abusive husband, and I was with him for 6.5 years. And that's where I got my lovely daughter, Courtney, who finally gave me enough strength at 1 year old to leave him for good. Because it was one thing when he was doing it to me. But the day that he put a hand on her and shoved her to the ground was the day that I turned around, and I didn't look back. And I reached out for people to make sure that I did not go back. And it was a long haul, and my parents helped me out a lot with that. And, I kind of went through life from there, and, it's all stuff for another conversation, but there's these breakthrough moments in your life where you just know that you know that you know that you need to get out of that place. Like I said, when I left my first husband, it was when, he touched my daughter, and I've grown and I've done different things, and I've always stayed in kind of this negative little aspect of myself, never thinking that I was good enough, and feeling blame and guilt and feeling everything except what I wanted to feel, and that was loved and accepted. I've never really felt like anybody has really known who I am. And the more that I start to peel back the layers of my life right now, I realize I don't even know who that person is. I know who I want that person to be, and I'm working very hard to try to get there. But I'm not there. And the fact that I had some people who reached out to me and who loved me enough just to say, hey, have you ever thought of? And hey, why don't you try this? And why don't you try that? And who were just shining examples in my life were just enough spark to get me going. And once you get going, you kind of take some baby steps, and you dip your toe in the water, and if it's okay, then you take another little step. And I've been kind of shuffling forward through the last couple of years of my life and making improvements and ridding my life of a lot of negativity and trying to only put positive things back in. But at the same point, I'm nowhere near where I want or need to be in my life, and I feel like my gut is busting open, that I need to get to another place. Leaving my husband was a good start. I wasn't happy there, and I was allowed to come and go and do anything that I wanted. But when you're not supported in something like this that you want to do, and when you want to transform your life, and you're not supported in your house, you can't stay there, because you'll never be able to grow there. So leaving was the first thing that I had to do. And now that I've left and I'm out on my own and I'm kind of settled, it took me a few months to really get settled back in, and get really started on what's, hopefully going to be this new life that I have envisioned for myself. I have been meeting some of the most amazing people in my life. And, I know it sounds kind of hooey, Tony Robbins, and 5 years ago I'd have rolled my eyes at that too. But when you're in a place where you're ready to receive a message that he has to give you, or anybody has to give you, whether it's God chasing you down, whether it's, whatever you're believing in, or the universe just trying to smack you around so that you get yourself in order. I mean, the more that you work, like I said before, between the ears, and really get your mind cleaned out and allow yourself to be open to new things and not care what anybody else thinks about what you're doing. Because you know what? I'm still in my workout clothes. This is where I went, how I had breakfast with Betsy this morning. Only I didn't quite look so puffy because me and Tony Robbins had a big cry fest this afternoon while I was having my breakthrough. And once you get past all that and you don't care what other people are doing, because the negative people who are in your life, or who are going to make fun of you, or, put you down for trying to do the things that you want to do, are the people that you don't need in your life anyway. And luckily, so far, I don't have too many of those kind of people in my life. And I am so thankful for that, because I know that I can post this video and my friends would drive over to my house and put their arms around me and hug me if they thought that that's what I needed at that second. And those are the kind of people that you need in your tribe. And I have been meeting some of the most fabulous people online in my in my support. Well, it's kind of like a support group. I do the Beachbody programs. I drink Shakeology. I've been doing my workout programs, and I've been working with my own coach, and our group that's, we're kind of all in the same boat and doing the same things. And we have these wonderful team calls that are so uplifting and supportive, and everybody's in the same place, and nobody makes fun of anybody because everybody's right there, and we're all in a place to receive a lot of stuff. And I'm telling you, when you start to throw that kind of support into your life, I'm like submerged in these people right now, and they are amazing to me. And your mind just goes to a whole nother place. it's a whole nother you. It's a whole nother level of where you know you want to be. And you wish that you could take everybody that you found, everybody that you met, and just bring them up to the level that you're at right now. And, on a scale of 1 to 10, I feel like I'm at a 3. So I've got a long way to go yet, but I feel like we're still peeling back these layers, and we're just learning and growing. And yeah, we're doing what we need to do with nutrition and with exercise. But you know what? That just seems like this, just whatever extra piece, these extra steps that we're doing to get us to where we want to be. But honestly, the work that we're doing up here, what we're learning up here, is allowing us to love ourselves enough to stick with this. People say, well, what's your motivation for doing and getting up and doing that every day? There's no motivation. You just know it's the right thing to do, and you're with the right group of people, and you're supported, and you love yourself enough, and you get up and you do it. And we talk about choosing our hard, and it's hard to get up in the morning when you don't want to. And it's hard to work out when your body's sore and tired. And it's hard to meal plan. And it's hard to fix good, healthy meals every single day, 7 days a week. And it's hard to go through life and going out with your friends and trying to make the right choices. Everything is hard. You know what else is hard? Being 358 pounds is hard, where you can't walk and you hurt every day, all day. What else is hard is your mindset when you're like that and you're not taking care of yourself. That's hard. That's really hard. Because I know when I'm not taking care of myself, I don't like myself, because I know I could be so much better, and I meant to do so many more things than I'm doing right now. And when I start to hurt myself and the food that I eat is not what I should be eating, it's not good. Everybody says, oh, you're having a bad day. Well, let's go get some ice cream. That'll make you feel better. Well, yeah, the sugar and fat and everything, that tastes good. It'll make you feel better. But really, is it serving you well? And is it doing the things that you want it to do in your life? Or do you really just need to sit and have a good chat with a friend? I mean, do you really need the ice cream to go with it? But that's how we're so conditioned to, well, we deserve it, we've earned it, and I just want it. Well, yeah. So you have to choose what you really, really want, and you have to choose your hard. You have to choose whether you're going to stay where you're at, or are you going to break out? Because either way, it's going to be hard, because there's nothing worse than being stuck where you don't want to be. And I did not want to be where I was. And I am so thankful to everything that's been falling into place in my life, and for the hard work that I've been able to do because of it, that I want to share this with all of you guys. And if anybody out there just needs a friend, or knows anybody who needs a friend, who just needs to talk, or who wants more knowledge and wants to support, we attract people that are just a few minutes behind us. And that's all I'm trying to do. Like I said, I want to reach out, and I'm getting this burning gut passion to just help people, and to help people where they are. When I was a diabetic, I told my doctor, I said, look, I can't fix all this all at once. I can't lose 200 pounds, and I can't eat perfectly, and I can't, and I can't, and I can't. And that's all that everybody ever heard from me, is I can't. And I used my weight as a big excuse for a lot of things that I didn't do. But when she told me I couldn't, when I told her that I couldn't, she sent me to somebody who told me I could. And that was a pharmacist, and her name was Bethany, and I thank her for helping to save my life, because you know what? She didn't just throw a bunch of pills and medication at me, and she didn't just throw a bunch of education and blah, blah, blah. I'm a nurse. I know what to do to fix diabetes, and I know why I have diabetes. But you know what? I wasn't ready to change, and I felt like a big pile of dog crap because I was not compliant, and part of me maybe was self-sabotaging myself, because maybe I didn't want to be around for very long. Maybe I didn't care about myself enough to even worry about it. But we talked together. She listened to me as a professional. We came up with a plan that was best for me to be compliant while I wasn't compliant. Because, I'm headstrong and I'm stubborn, and nobody was going to tell me what to do, or that I had to do this or that I had to do that. And I was going to do things my way. Well, when she listened and we made this plan, I started to feel better because my sugars got under control. And when I started to feel better, I felt like I wasn't going to die tomorrow. And when I felt like I didn't feel like I was going to die tomorrow, I started not napping all the time. And then I started, thinking about, well, maybe I could exercise. Maybe I could do this. Maybe I could do that. And could I do it all perfectly? No. I still modify a lot of the exercises. I'm still like just shy of 300 pounds now. It's better than 358, I will tell you. And I'm much more mobile now than I was before. But I just have to say that there are people who can meet you where you're at. And that was the whole point of my diabetes story, is that she met me where I was. She knew I wasn't going to be perfect. She knew I wasn't going to only eat 45 carbs per meal every day, and that I wasn't going to be consistent like that. And I flat out told her that I wasn't going to be. But you know what? She gave me something that worked for me. And you know what? I no longer have to take mealtime insulin. I've been off of that for 2 years, and I've been a very controlled diabetic for the last few years because she met me where I was. And that is so important, because I'm not at a level where a lot of people are. I'm not at the level where Tony Robbins is. I'm not at the level where my coach is. But she's not perfect either. Tony's not perfect. I'm not perfect. But maybe we're just a few steps ahead of where you are. And maybe you need some people to help you and lift you up the way that I've had in my life. And if you're at all interested in talking to me or being a part of what I do and the groups that I attend, we would just love to have you. You can email me anytime at beforeyougive6913@gmail.com. And that's, once again, is beforeyougive6913@gmail.com. And I'm telling you, you need the support. You need to just be surrounded by people who are positive and who are ready, willing, and able to go through it all with you, because we're all at the level that we're at, and we're all growing, and we're all learning, and we're all just in this together. And the weight loss that's a byproduct of what we're doing. We're cleaning out our minds. We're ridding ourselves of a lot of negativity. We are working hard every day. We are getting good, dense nutrition in every day. We're doing our workouts every day. Are we perfect? No. We are not perfect. We are not perfect whatsoever. And I go to Perkins for breakfast with a friend. I went today. And I go out every once in a while with my friends. And I have some adult beverages. And I eat maybe what I want. But the thing of it is that I don't do that 3 times a day, every day, plus snacks. And I don't even want the fast food anymore. I was always driving through the fast foods. And I don't do that anymore. I don't do it. I don't want it. And I don't care about it anymore, because it doesn't serve me well, and it doesn't make me feel good about myself. And that's what all of this is about, is just trying to feel good about yourself and be able to get through another day and another day and another day. And hopefully be able to help somebody else to at least get in a mindset of where they think they can. Because I know when I first saw my coach, she was online doing these exercises at 330 pounds, and she was modifying, and she was putting it all out there for everybody to see. And she inspired me, because she taught me that, yeah, I can. I can't do it perfectly. I can't do anything like Shaun T can, or like even like my coach can. But you know what? I can do stuff like Flicky can. And that's what you need to find. You need to find out what you can do. Where are you at? And are you tired of being there? If we're not learning and growing, we're smoldering out. and don't let your fire get put out, because I had this one little ember left, and I was ready to ask my doctor for a handicap placard for my car because I couldn't even get through the grocery store anymore, and I couldn't walk in and out of work without being extremely tired and extremely sore, and it took me forever. And I was always the last person anywhere. And when you get real tired of stuff like that, you got to find a way to get through. So if I can help you at all with this, I'd be glad to. Please reach out to me before you give up, 6913@gmail.com, or send me a message here on my page. And I hope to hear from you, and I hope that this has touched you. And please feel free to share it with any of your friends, family, anybody that you know who's struggling right now, because it doesn't always have to be struggling with weight. It can just be struggling with anything in life. And there's a lot of things that we can help each other through to fix that. So, and the more I reach out to you guys and the more I get off my chest and start to throw out there, the more it heals me too. So, like I said, it's a back and forth, and it's just something that I really wanted to share with you folks, and I hope to hear from you. God bless you. Good night.